So it's a good thing. But it's great to meet you, and I want to begin our conversation with what we've lived through for the last 3.5 years, getting
Okay.
through the pandemic. How did you get through it, and how did it change you?
Well, it changed me in a few different ways. One of them is uh, physically, it changed me because I got COVID.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because I just watched the video about me a few um, days ago. And it was right before I was COVID. I was about 230 pounds of fat. I was overweight big time. I didn't realize how overweight I was. I
Yeah.
was trying to jump rope, trying to get back in shape. And I looked at myself, I was like, good grief, what happened? And so then I got COVID and I lost a lot of weight. Then I got really skinny. And then after I came out of COVID, I started eating a lot and I gained a lot of weight back again. So I made a decision, I'm going to get back in shape. So I made a decision in my mind. I said, I'm going to become 26 years old again physically. And I went to work 4 hours a day at the gym, eating right, changing my eating habits and everything. And now I'm back down to 195 pounds, shredded, lean. I'm probably in better shape now than I was when I was 26.
Wow.
So that's definitely one way it changed me. It changed my mindset that, if I'm going to be healthy, it's going to be up to me. It's not going to be up to doctors and medication and all the other garbage that's out there. So
Yeah.
that's one way it changed me.
So let's get to the essence of what you do for a living exactly. If I put you in front of a bunch of third graders, it's career day. One of the kids asks you, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
Sure. I work with companies, over at sales professionals, coaches, and people that are in direct sales, and I teach them how to effectively go onto networking events and meet cold people, whether through networking events or social media. I show them what to say and how to say it to be able to attract their ideal clients so they can fill their calendar with 5, 10, 15 appointments a week. And then I teach them exactly what to say to help those people become paid clients within 24 hours so they can earn money immediately in their business. That's what I
S-
do.
So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream to grow up and become?
Great question. When I was in the third grade, I was totally different. I used to want to be a baseball player. I used to play baseball, so I wanted to do that in third grade. That was my ultimate goal.
Who was your team?
Actually, it's funny. I didn't like watching baseball. I liked playing
Okay.
baseball. And
Okay.
the only position I liked to play was pitcher. I was very good as a pitcher. So
Wow.
I was on 5 baseball teams and all 5 of them became champions. And also I actually won the championship for our team in San Jose, California. The All-Star League. I won the only flag that year. So it was really
Wow.
fun. I was really good at baseball. I should have stuck with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So talk to me a little bit about where you were born and raised and how these seeds got into you to help motivate people and to get into a better, healthy place.
Sure, sure. Well, I grew up in San Jose, Bay Area, before it was Silicon Valley today. And back then, one of the biggest turning points of my life was I was in high school and my mom used to work at Hewlett Packard, HP. And I remember she was there and then she'd come home crying all the time because that's when all the young whippersnappers that are in there today, the Facebook guys and all the young college kids were coming up. And they were walking all the old people out and all the new people would come in. And so she was having to get people jobs, but she couldn't find a job because they were getting all the old people out of there. So I made a decision that day. I said, I'll never work for anybody else again. I'll never raise a family working for a company. I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to make a decision to do that. And that's when I started getting into fashion design and designing clothes and becoming an entrepreneur at that point because I made a decision I would never ever work for a company and put my livelihood dependent on someone else. I was going to learn the skills to run my own business, and I've never worked for a company since.
Wow. Interesting. So talk to me a little bit about who's been a hero and inspiration for you in your life.
Great question. In business wise, the number one and two people that have helped me in my life. One guy named Chris McGarrahan. He was a direct sales guy. He trained me. He took me under his wing and helped me learn the skills of direct sales. Kind of hard love. He was a really tough guy, but he taught me the right way to do it. But the guy named Kevin, he was an infomercial guy. He was the infomercial king of the world back in the 80s and 90s. And I went under his wing, and he taught me for 3 years how to do direct sales, how to do network marketing, how to meet people cold and convert those into sales at a very, very high level. And because of that, I've never earned less than 6 figures since. But I went from zero, $70,000 and being broke to after one year learning the skills through Kevin and Chris. Just changing my financial future since.
So if you could meet anybody on the planet right now and spend some time with them, who would it be?
Wow, anybody on the planet right now? Hmm, that's a great question. Who would I want to meet right now? I'd want to meet Elon Musk right now. That'd be the person I want to meet because I'd have some things to share with him and and help him see some things from a different perspective.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your motivation every day to wake up and to be who you are, to help others and to evolve? What is that for you?
Great question. I actually watched a video when I was 19 years old called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. As a matter of fact, I've watched it so many times, I still own it right here. I still have it in my hand.
Yeah.
I watched that video and it inspired me to really do some things in my community. So I wrote out this big list of all this stuff I wanted to do to build these big community centers. And, it didn't happen for a long time. But what I did is I actually now run an online ministry. I teach the Bible to pastors all over the world. My message has gone to over 200 million people around the world, and it's about to go to a lot more than that in the next couple of days as well. So that's what motivates me is because I now have learned the truth about what the scripture talks about, and I teach that to people all over the world. And I lead, thousands upon thousands of pastors in Africa and India and many, many, many countries around the world. So
So
that's
in
what
these
motivates me.
so in these different capacities of reaching out and helping people, what's been one of your best success stories or best fan letter you've ever gotten?
Great question. I have a friend named Matt, probably one of my, no, actually, I'll say Jay. Jay is one of my best ones because I met him, I was in a real estate investment business. We were supposed to join the same day. He chose not to, but I decided to join it. And then 6 months later, I was generating, close to $500,000 a year, and he had went broke. So he came to me and he was crying, upset. I said, Jay, if you follow my skill sets, I teach you what I teach you. If you follow what I say, you'll be in a different tax bracket. So he followed me for 6 months, almost a year. And after learning the skills, he now runs a multi-million-dollar real estate investment business with the Airbnb. And he literally wrote a book specifically on the topics that I taught him. And he lives those in many different areas of his life. So that was, in a nutshell, that would be the greatest success.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into a 20-year-old version of you, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life. What advice would you give your young self?
What wisdom I give my young self would be to get a mentor immediately, if not sooner, to get a coach, someone that's done what you want to do fast, and whatever it costs to invest in them, spend time with them, learn from them, be humble, and listen to their instruction immediately, so you don't have to go through the 12 years of failing that I actually did before I met Kevin. And so, yes, I would tell him to be humble, go find a mentor, find someone who's excellent at what they do, hold on to their coattail, and learn and mimic what they say and do. And then you'll have success much, much faster.
So speaking of coaching, you give a lot of good advice out. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice I've ever gotten was called the 4 levels of learning of how my brain works. I teach it today every single day. How it's called the 4 levels of learning is called the unconscious incompetent, competent, conscious incompetent, conscious competent, and the unconscious competent level. It's the 4 levels your brain goes through to learn any new information. The reason why that's so powerful and why I teach it so much, because a lot of people, including myself years ago, I used to be afraid to take chances, afraid to do something new because I didn't know if I could do it. But now that I understand how my brain works, I know that I can do anything with enough practice. I can do anything if I can learn the skill. Someone teaches it to me. It's just a matter of how long it takes for me to learn it. But I had to learn the 4 levels. Once I learned that, then I actually can now say, okay, do I really want to do this? Am I willing to take the time to learn it? And do I really want to accomplish that goal? So now, with that said, that's why I accomplish whatever I want to accomplish because it's just a matter of going through the 4 stages in my mind. So I
Wow.
teach that and I give that knowledge away freely to millions of people so people can learn that information.
So of all of the things that you've done and evolved and overcome and become, what are you the proudest of?
I'm becoming the leader of Saved by Truth Ministry, savedbytruth.com, and the leader of the Church of Philadelphia in the book of Revelation 3, verses 7 through 13. I lead probably the largest spiritual biblical church on earth. I lead more pastors around the world to teach the truth about the Bible than anything. That is the number one thing I'm proud of.
So everyone has a perception of you. All these
Yeah.
people, family, friends, everyone that gets your message, but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm a man of God, and I love people, and I use money, and I love people, and I use money to help more people accomplish their goals. So my goal, I'm the mentor for the masses. That's my brand, and that's what I live by. That's why right now I do so much to help people in every way I can. That's how I see myself.
So as we enter this new year, I've talked to people about, are we entering a better age of enlightenment? Things, where do you see things going as we enter a new year? How optimistic are you?
Well, I'm very optimistic for because you got to remember I have two perspectives. I have the world's perspective business wise, and then I have the biblical perspective. If you want me to talk business wise, I think that there's going to be a lot of challenges that are going to come a lot of people's way because they don't know what the World Economic Forum and all these people are doing. But because I'm in that realm, I know their exact plan. As a matter of fact, I have a copy of their entire business model and plan what they plan on doing over the next 7 years. So from that perspective, I think there's got to be a lot of people that are going to succeed, but there's going to be a lot of challenges that are come up for a lot of people unless they learn the right skills of how to take care of their family. So in business wise, spiritually speaking, I believe we're in the book of Revelation right now. We're living it in real time. So I believe we're in Revelation 14 verses 1 through 5, and that's going to be coming here shortly. And so it's going to be great for some people.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
So for anyone out there that is kind of on the fence, they've gotten to know you and they're curious, how would you convince them to go to meet stephengreg.com to learn more and have a consultation?
Okay, good. Well, if it depends on what they are. If they do networking, if they're in sales or they're trying to generate new business and they're struggling with conversion, what I would recommend them to do, they can come to meet stephengreg.com, meet with me one-on-one. But I actually created something this week to be able to give away for this particular call. I actually created a website. It's www.freenetworkingtraining.com. And you can, type that out if you like and give it to people, but it's freenetworkingtraining.com. What I've done is created a mini version of what people pay for with my coaching. And I teach them literally the skills because I figured this year I'm the mentor for the masses. So then I need to affect the masses because I cannot coach everybody one-on-one. So I created something that's literally free and it's really impacting. It's the same thing that I taught, Matt and I taught Jay and I taught a lot of these people, and they can literally go in, watch it, download on their computer, and really learn how to go out and generate more business without spending any money on advertising. So that would be the one thing that I would recommend people to do.
Wonderful. Stephen, I love your energy, pure inspiration. Thank you for your time. Best of luck in 24.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, sir. Take care.